Welcome back to the latest episode of the NLB Pod. I'm your host, Doc Mang, aka Dr. Fairmang Terrell Jr., and I'm coming at you with another one. And I think all of these are important, but I might be biased, but we cover a lot of like skills and training and recovery, rehab, but we also got to think about the brain. And I'm gonna just ask you guys a question. When the game is on the line, do you thrive or do you fold? Mental toughness is what separates good players from the great ones. And today, we're going to dive into how you can handle pressure like a pro on the basketball court. Why does this matter? I think it's important to highlight why we focus so much on the physical side of things. How high can you jump? How fast can you run? How crafty are you with the ball or without the ball? Can you put the ball in the basket? But we don't talk about the mental side. What's going through mentally in your head? How are you able to stay even keel? There's going to be lots of ebbs and flows. Are you able to stay in the moment? When adversity strikes and you guys are down or you're at the free throw line in a heavy clutch situation, are you able to come through? And if you don't, what do you do after? And if you do, what do you do after? How do you respond? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Talk about how it can affect you. How do you stay calm under pressure? And how do you thrive in those high stake moments? Now, if I had to ask you guys, what is mental toughness in your eyes? Take a sec, think about it. For me, I think of mental toughness, I think about, am I able to stay myself? Am I able to stay focused no matter the situation? If we're down, if we're up, can I stay composed? Can I stay myself? Can I stay even keel to do what I gotta do or have my team do what we gotta do? When I'm tired, if I've missed 10 shots in a row and I can't find a bucket, do I shoot the 11th one or do I pass out of it if I know I'm good, I'm a good shooter? Or if I'm at the free throw line, down two, I need to make two to tie it. Can I focus in and stay calm and do what I do thousands of times and make two free throws? So that's why I think about mental toughness, why I think it's important. I think we all need to, that's something we all need to develop because you could be the best athlete in the world, but if you don't have your mind right, then you're just missing a lot of potential. And I think we can look at it in two ways. We can look at it as a growth mindset or a fixed mindset. Growth mindset being like any kind of challenge that's in there, any missed opportunity, I can learn from it. I can grow from it. Like it's not the end all be all. There's going to be opportunities when I'm in the situation again, and I can bank on the experience in the past to be able to shape what the future looks like or the present looks like. Or I could be in a fixed mindset and I just do what I do. I don't want to make any mistakes. I want to be perfect because I don't want to fail. I don't want to mess up. And that's real. A lot of people go through that. They don't want to be seen as imperfect or the reason why you lose or the reason why, the game was lost and feeling like you let your teammates down. That's definitely a part of the game. But we all have to realize that basketball is a game. We are going to have opportunities to come play the game. It might be your senior year in the championship game, and you might not get another chance at high school, but you will have other opportunities in college, in professional worlds, in recreational leagues. You will have other opportunities to be in that situation and improve from that situation. So all your failures, all your mistakes, all the things that you do wrong, all the turnovers, they're all a learning opportunity and you will improve at them if you intentionally think about how do I work on my brain muscle and how do I let things go and learn from them and then correct them for the next time. So I think well I think when you frame it like that, you kind of see how it applies to not only basketball but just life in general. If you're able to stay even keel and stay in the moment, I think that'll make you a better leader. It'll make you a better executive. It'll make you a better um, parent if that time comes. It'll make you a better uh, coworker, person to work with because you can focus in on what needs to be focused on the task at hand. You're open to whatever the good and the bad that occurs with it, and you're able to make adjustments and focus on the greater good of accomplishing the task, whatever the task may be. So now let's think about how you might work on this. How do you stay calm under pressure? And I think this is something I like to do in rehab. And some of the people that I work with, a lot of high stress environments, very big deals that they're working on. It's a lot of stress, and then they got, you know, families, they got, you know, relationships they got to maintain. They got a lot of things that are coming at them, and a lot of times I just like to kind of start sessions with some breathing activities just to get the sympathetic nervous system to come down and get the parasympathetic to come on, as in the rest, the relaxed and resting state, and getting your mind in a calm place versus the pent up energy, very high alert, sympathetic nervous system. We don't want that in rehab at the beginning stages of rehab. We might work towards like getting into that more quick burst of things, but early on, I just want people to calm down and just taking a deep breath. Deep inhale into the nose, slow exhale out to the mouth. Take a 2 second pause, and then do the same thing, a couple breaths. I do this at the free throw line when I'm at the free throw line, especially when it's like a late game situation and I need to calm my nerves down, or I know it's a clutch situation. I take a sec, take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out before the ball comes, and then I focus on the ball. I visualize the ball going into the basket before I shoot the ball. And that's been very helpful. Like I've already gone through my routine in my head. I've seen the ball go in the basket, and now I just follow that same routine of what I just did in my head and shoot the same shot that I've shot thousands, hundreds, thousands, million times, just doing it over and over again. If I miss, I miss. If I make it, great. But then we on to the next possession. And I just think about trying to just set yourself first to be still and intentional and focus on the task at hand and not getting too far ahead and thinking about, all right, I got to make these two free throws because that makes it a tie game with 10 seconds left, and I gotta go find my person I'm guarding and then get a stop. I think that's a lot to think about. Well, I don't want to be thinking about all that stuff and when I'm shooting these two free throws. The intent is to make the two free throws first, and then you already know who you got to guard. You know what you got to do already. Now it's just a matter of muscle memory and trusting the work that you've put in. And so I think just finding things that allow you to decompress, to find that space, whether it's visualization, breathing, whether it's you have a pregame playlist that helps you get ready. You got meditation during timeouts or before you like starting lineups are called or when the national anthem's played. Whatever works best to get you in the right mental space is going to be huge for just like your long-term development in basketball and in like life outside of basketball. And then you got to think about when you have a bad game, how do you react? Do you kick chairs, knock down trash cans, cuss out your teammates, yell at them for not doing what they were supposed to do if someone messed up? How do you handle when things go bad? You got to think about that. Like, what have you done when things didn't go your way? Did you go to the end of the bench and pout? Did you like not shake anyone's hand, any of your teammates' hands? Did you not listen to what people were telling you? If that's how it is, you're not gonna go too far. You're not gonna be successful. You're not gonna be successful. You can't just put yourself in a hole like that. It's because of one bad game or a bad sequence or a lot of setbacks. You have to be able to find solutions. How can I improve this? What can I do better? How can I help my teammates get better? How can I put them in better positions to succeed and not put them in uncomfortable positions? And think about reframing like that to build the people yourself up and to build the people around you that you're going to war with. You know, you can't put yourself in a hole because everyone's watching you, especially if you're like one of the better players or you're one of the leaders. Everyone's watching you. Your body language matters. How you interact matters. How you talk to your teammates matters. And if you're out there cussing them out, if you're out there knocking over trash cans, punching chairs, they gonna see that and be like, man, I ain't trying to get on their bad side. I don't want to be on the wrath. I don't want to be on the wrath of that. So you have to know that all eyes are on you, and you never know who's in the crowd watching too. College coaches do not want to see a player with bad body language because to them it appears as if they're uncoachable, not able to handle pressure. In college, you get into conference games, a lot of pressure. Scouting reports, very thorough. They've seen a lot of your tape. They want to make sure that the guys that they have are good locker room guys, good team builders guys, guys that they can, guys or girls that they can bring recruits to and be like, all right, this is the culture that we built. This is who you're going to learn from. This is what to expect. And know that when they're not there, the university name in front of the front of their jersey is in good hands because of the kind of players that they've brought in to recruit. But if you're potentially gonna mess up the name on the front or jeopardize the team, then no one wants to deal with that. So you got to make sure that mentally you're able to stay in the moment, but also be able to control your body language, control the emotions to be able to put your best effort forward. And then when you're by yourself, that's the time when you can look back and think about, all right, in this situation, I should have done this. Or next time I see this kind of coverage, this is how I'm going to attack it. So that the next time you're in that situation, you have context up to what what you did when you saw it the last time and what needs to improve. And I really think, the words that you use to yourself really matters. Man, I sucked today, or I was I'm trash, or like I can't do it. You gotta switch that kind of talk. That negative self-talk is detrimental to your development and to who you're supposed to be. You gotta switch that to things like, I'm built for this, I prepared for this, the moment isn't too big. Like things like that to positive, push to a more positive self-talk. Because if you're feeding yourself negative energy, negative words all the time, you're just gonna keep that's gonna feed off onto that negative aura is just gonna spread itself to the team, and that's not a good aura or culture to set. You gotta be a little more positive and a little more if you're talking, you gotta be a little more positive and a little more grateful for the opportunity to even be in that situation because you wouldn't be able to learn from it if you weren't in that situation in the beginning. I like to think about, young rookie Kobe in the playoffs against Utah when he airballed the four shots. He wasn't scared to take the shots. He wasn't scared of the misses. He was not mad about the misses. Obviously, he wants to make them, but he then realized he didn't train appropriately to withstand a long season. He'd been playing in 35 games in high school and all of a sudden going to 82 plus playoffs. His legs weren't ready. So he realized, all right, I gotta go back to the drawing board with my coaches and figure out how to game plan for a long season. And the next year makes a big leap because he was intentional about what he needed to focus on. He knew what he had to focus on. He figured it out and then developed a game plan to address it. And next year came back better. And then from that season, figured out what he had to improve on. Next season came back better. And that's what it is. It's a constant figure it out, improve it, and then figure out what you got to improve on some more, and then improve it again. And I think just something like keeping a journal to track your wins, the challenges, lessons learned along the way is just going to build confidence over time. And it's always something that you can look back on and be like, at this point, I was struggling with this. I've attacked this. I've gotten better at this. And now I'm working on this. I do this really well. I did this really well in this game. I got to keep this moving forward to the next game. Just having something that you can keep track of your progress over the time. So I think we do a good job of not remembering the good things that we do, but all the bad things that we do. And like I just mentioned, if you're building yourself with a lot of negative talk, then it's hard to find the good sometimes. But you got to remind yourself that you're really that person. You're really that girl. You're really that dude to be in this moment right now. And then when we're in those situations, those high stakes situations in the court, I think you just got to think about how your practices look like. I think it's free throws just because of this is a time when you're by yourself. There's no one contesting you, but the crowd noise can affect how you focus. The intensity of the situation can prepare how you focus. And I think it starts in practice of getting comfortable with having consequences or decisions based on how you perform. So if I'm in a practice and we're tired and we got to make free throws to end it. If we make two, practice is over. If we make one, miss one, then we got to run up now. And if we miss both, then we have to, I don't know, we got under 10 minutes or something. Just putting some stakes on practice and a practice situation where it's not as high as it would be in a real game, but you're preparing yourself to have to focus in real time when you're tired, I think will do wonders for when it comes to the actual game because you've already put yourself in that situation of a high stakes moment and just constantly putting yourself in those high stakes situations when you're practicing one on one, three on three, five on five of just trying to stack a bunch of good decisions. And if you miss or you make wrong decisions, it's like, how do I improve from this? And think about those, before a game, before you get to the free throw line, before those heavy, high stake moments. And then you're like, oh, this is nowhere near as bad as when I was in practice and having to put myself through these situations. And then you understand that if you make it, great. Like it's fantastic. But if you miss it, it's not the end of the world. You gotta process it, then let it go. Move on to the next possession, the next play. You have to stay in the moment. You have to stay in your moment. You gotta control what you can't control. Your emotions, your effort, your attitude, how you execute on offense. The uncontrollables, crowd noise, ref calls the refs make, you can't control those. So don't worry about those. Focus on what you can't control. And like I said, I like to use visualization and see myself the ball going in before I get the ball for a free throw. But even like in a timeout, if you're in a situation where you're on offense and you're down one and you got to get a bucket, visualize yourself getting a bucket beforehand. Visualize getting a stop if you're on defense in that same situation. Visualize getting yourself a stop. Use your senses. Watch how the ball feels, see the ball go in the rim, listen to the crowd noise. Allow that to center you and be locked in on the moment at hand. And then our last little bit, just like off the court, I think journaling, meditation, mindfulness, I think will be helpful just to develop that ice in your veins mentality. I think that's a coldest celebration, by the way. When they got the three fingers and stick it into your veins, I think that's the coldest celebration of just being locked in. But reading books, listening to podcasts, is helping you learn about mental performance. What your favorite athletes do to get themselves in the zone. Um, the Kobe's, the Stephs, the LeBrons, what they do to get themselves ready and stay mentally sharp. 'Cause that's the biggest part. Taking care of your big rocks, sleep, eating, stress, staying hydrated, to reduce overall stress levels and improve your overall focus. Get help if you need additional help. A coach, a mentor, psychologists, therapists to help fine tune those mental struggles that you might be dealing with. And then last, I'd say like just make sure you surround yourself with good people, your teammates, who are going to encourage you, challenge you to grow, coaches, just be around people who fill you with good energy, and so you in return can fill yourself and them with good energy as well. So that's a big one, a big topic that I think we need to address. It's not all just about the physical side, the mental side matters just as much. And it's something that can be developed over time. And you can learn to stay calm under pressure, build resilience, and focus on staying locked in on the moment at hand. I think start with just picking one strategy, visualization, meditation, journaling, and focus on how to stay in the moment. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with your teammates, share it with your coaches. Um, like the podcast, share the podcast, leave 5 stars so we can continue to drop episodes on the on just overall basketball development. We want you guys to develop as basketball players and as an audience, and I think it's just important to just continue to like stay in the moment. Don't forget the long-term vision and understand that there's going to be ebbs and flows, but you're as long as you're trending in the up direction, that's all that matters. And on that note, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.